The basic principle of a transformer is when you give time varying supply to the primary winding, that primary winding carries time varying current, set up the time varying flux. We only give the excitation to the primary winding. That primary winding produces the flux. That flux flowing through inside the core and linking with the secondary winding due to electromagnetic induction. The Faraday's first law states that whenever a conductor linking with the time varying magnetic field, that induces the EMF in it. The EMF induced in the primary winding is self-induced EMF. The EMF induced in the secondary winding is mutually induced EMF. This is due to the flux produced by primary winding. The single line diagram of a transformer. This is a primary winding having more number of turns. I am taking step down transformer. Secondary winding has few number of turns. These two windings electrically separated, magnetically coupled together via the magnetic core. That magnetic core drawn as two parallel straight lines. This is a supply voltage. The EMF induced in the primary winding, let's say E1. The EMF induced in the secondary winding is E2. The Faraday's second law gives the information about magnitude of the EMF, which is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linkages and number of turns. E is equal to the N d phi by dt. This sign indicates the self-induced EMF opposes the supply voltage, which is the cause of producing flux. The effect opposes the cause, that's why we keep it as minus symbol. This minus does not indicate the negative value. This sign represents the effect opposes the cause. That natural phenomena generally called as Lenz's law. Why it is statically induced EMF? There are no moving parts. All are stationary. That flux is varying with the time, which is linking with the coil that induces EMF due to the electromagnetic induction between primary and secondary through the magnetic coil. You should always give alternating or time varying supply input. Suppose we give DC supply or constant voltage not varying with the time. The resultant flux also not varying with the time. It will be 0. There is no rate of change of flux. Then the EMF induced is 0. This EMF is 0. The current drawn from the source is very high. That will be burn the primary winding immediately because there is no opposing EMF. Actually, the current drawn by primary winding to energize this coil is very small. If you give direct voltage to the transformer, there is no time varying flux established. There is no EMF is induced. If there is no opposing EMF, the huge passage of current flowing through the coil will burn the primary winding.